All right. Josh, welcome to Podcastina.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. I also have never done a podcast in like a 3-way with a dog. So I mean, that came out wrong, but I'm into it. What a start.
Just sexualizing Monty.
Yeah, that's what I do. No, also Monty's the most well-behaved.
Thank you. You
Chilling.
say that now.
I do.
Give him a minute.
I will. I have to, inherently. I have, the reason I couldn't do, when we did Steep and I couldn't have the cats there because the cats like, they make it about them.
Right.
They will jump up and like meow. They seem to know what cameras are. I literally have a photo of me when I was testing out the mics where our cat Stella just walked over, pawed the mic down, and started just meowing into it. I'm like, what do you know? You're a cat.
Cats are smarter than us.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
In a devious way.
I don't care for it.
They can't be trusted.
I don't trust my cats, but they now really like me. I inherited them when Jess and I started dating. For those listening at home, Jess is my wife.
My wife, huh?
I hate that. I fucking hate it. I hate it. I hate saying the phrase my wife. I'm not going to do the bits I do on stage, but I genuinely hate that phrase. It feels weird.
What would you rather call her, milady?
Sure.
Yeah?
Can I?
I mean, ask her.
Milady. I don't know.
My partner? You throw a partner around?
I've done it. I don't know.
I like calling someone your partner.
So
although it's skewed in ambiguity because you don't know, are you married? Are you dating? Are you gay?
So here's what's funny. When I've said my partner, I give off very feminine energy. So when I've said my partner, people have been like, oh, what's his name? That's happened more than once.
Oh, so you can't really float that.
I mean, I don't mind it. I'm just like, his name is Jessica. And they're like, oh, I was like, no, there's no he. I feel like, tell me if I'm wrong, because I believe that we've bonded on this topic before. I feel like you don't like labels either.
I have thought it odd before.
Okay. Yeah.
When I first was hearing people using partner terminology, I thought it odd because I had only heard of it used in like the LGBTQ community.
I think we all stole it.
You're right. It was commandeered.
Yeah.
It was commandeered by the straights. See, there he is misbehaving.
Well, he doesn't like when people use partner.
That's right. And he is my partner. Monty. He hears people in the hall, so that'll happen from time to time. And you know what? I don't even edit it because we're about authenticity over here.
I don't think you have to edit it. Also, I think there are enough dog lovers out there who are used to this. Mm-hmm. Like people who work from home. I have a cat who can... Oh, it's okay, but hey, do you want to hang out with me? You can hang out with me instead. One of our cats gets up and will jump on my desk and meow.
Oh.
Because she wants to go out. And I'm like, this is not what I want this day to go like, but that's fine.
Have you heard that thing about how cats only learn to meow as a way of communicating with humans?
Because
that's
they sound
adaptation?
like babies?
Yeah.
Yes. And I said to them, I go, how do I stop that? And they go, that's hundreds of years. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I see. I thought that was something I could just train them out of.
They're also roughly 20,000 years behind as far as domestication in relation to when we domesticated dogs, which is why they're not as
Is
kind
that
of
true?
overall. Yeah. They're not as sweet as dogs. Some cats are, and obviously some dogs are problematic, but as a whole, they're about 20,000 years behind.
I'm getting very educated on this podcast.
All I do is read and learn things and regurgitate them and forget them a month later.
I'll say this. If I have to think about like the smartest people I surround myself with, I put you on that list.
Oh, well, thank you.
But I don't put myself on that list.
You should.
I don't.
You're so savvy.
Thank you. You're very sweet. And I'm going to do this once a week so I can feel good about myself. I want to be someone who reads a lot. Mm-hmm. And I don't. You are reading a new book every 15 minutes.
I read a lot.
I know.
Yeah.
It's a very attractive quality.
It's escapism. I'm trying to get out of my brain, and here's why I do it. Well, number one, I do enjoy it, and I have set certain boundaries with myself that if I'm reading, I try to just keep it as I read novels, right? I read things that are entertaining and that I can escape in and enjoy the prose, whatever, great story. And then when it comes to all my informational and self-help books, I've switched to audio format on those because they're kind of boring to read. And I'm going to forget them if I read them or listen to them. It's not really going to change my retention. And so I'd rather not waste my precious reading time trying to force myself through a book that I read a lot of things that are like textbooks effectively.
What?
They're not fully textbooks, but they're like psychology books or books about these types of personalities, or I'm trying to crack like evolutionary psychology so I can be less judgmental and understand the world better and understand myself better. It's helping a tinge.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you ever talk about it on stage? Do you mind if I extend?
No, extend away. I don't talk about it on stage, I think, because the setup would be so long. But for example, I read this book last year that was so important to me that was called Quiet by Susan Cain.
Okay.
I brought it up before, I bet.
No, you're going to think I'm a liar. You said to me in passing, I saw you, I think it was at the West Side Holiday Party. I cannot remember, but I saw you somewhere, and I always ask you what you're reading because you're always reading something that's interesting. And I wrote it down, and I was going through a list of like my old note-taking app, pulling things out, and I have book recommendations, Quiet, in parentheses, Galina.
Because it was one of my favorite things I read last year, so I keep harping on it.
I need to read it.
Yeah, but it's the perfect example of the type of book that I tend to gravitate towards, where it's about extroverts and introverts. And so there's kind of some scientific testing around what do those things mean and what does it look like in society? How do we treat introverts versus extroverts? Or like I just read a book called The Marshmallow Test, and I'm reading a book called Behave, which is all about neuroscience and different parts of the brain. So, or rather, I'm listening to these books. So it's for me to understand how different parts of our brains work on like a diagnostic scientific level. Just it helps me chill a bit. Maybe that's not coming off.
No.
Like it's helping me chill, but I think it helps me chill because it helps me understand certain qualities in myself and in other people where I can be like, oh, maybe this person is a little more, let's say, risk averse. Maybe this person is a little bold or a little obnoxious. Perhaps that's because their amygdala is more activated than mine because of how they were raised. It just helps me come at things at a more empathetic level. So I'm kind of doing it selfishly, but then people perceive it like, oh, she's so smart, she reads all the time. And I'm like, yeah, I'm doing it because I'm fucking judging everyone all the time.
Yeah, but like even what you just said, I'm like, is my amygdala activated too much? I don't know. I have no idea.
You are an anxious boy.
I am a very anxious boy, a very extroverted, anxious boy. Is the marshmallow test, by the way, the delayed gratification thing?
Yes.
Yeah. Which I'm fine with, by the way. I am able to delay gratification beyond the normal person, mainly just because I just assume it's never coming. So I'm just like, someone's like, hey, if you wait longer, you'll get this other thing. I'm like, sure, I'll wait. It's never going to happen. Who cares?
Yeah, but I can tell you because I read that book that actually the people who are more, and there's also a correlation between ADHD type neurodiversity brains and people who are really impulsive and worse at delaying gratification, those people were the better hunter-gatherers because that skill set actually helps people when we live in that type of like caveman society. If you're out and about and you need to be foraging and you need to be super reactive and make decisions fast, it helps more to have that kind of brain versus the planners. That's more of like a learned, sustained thing that you have to be in an environment where you can really trust everyone around you, really trust your caretakers, understand that the person that's running the marshmallow test, they promised you 2 marshmallows after 20 minutes. You have to believe that they're going to come back. And if you were brought up in an environment where you had unreliable caretakers, you tend to grow up to be more impulsive because you don't believe. Evidence in your life has shown you that people are not trustworthy.
So here's what's interesting. Not to analyze myself. Hello. I love this. He just paused at my knee. He's like, we're not
He'll
done.
never stop.
I'm fine with it. Starting at about probably 8, I would say. If I asked my mom what was for dinner, she would say, you have 2 hands and a brain. Figure it out.
Oh.
And so I'm very, very self-sufficient. And so as far as like the marshmallow test comes, my thought is whether they leave 1 marshmallow for me now or bring back 2 later, I'm going to have to figure things out myself anyway. So do whatever you need to with these marshmallows.
Adultification.
Here's what's really wacky is I was talking to, I have therapy on Mondays. For those listening.
My therapy is also on Mondays.
Is it really?
Yeah.
What? Yeah. What
Monday therapy.
What time is yours?
You know it changes.
So can I tell you, I hate my slot. My slot's at 12:30. I just hate it. It's right in the middle of the day. But he didn't have another one. I'm someone who likes to do it in person. He didn't have another one in person. And I was like,
too bad.
Fuck it, I'll take it.
Yeah, it's
anyway, we literally were talking today. And it's so funny that we're talking about this because I said today, I have a brain that I wouldn't say that necessarily that I have like ADHD, but if I am not stimulated intellectually at any moment, I will venture off. Whether it's mentally or physically, I'm out the door. Which Jess, as my wife, finds incredibly irritating because if she's not talking to me for a period of time, like not in a negative way, just like if she's doing something, I'll throw on a podcast. She's like, why do you need to do that? I was like, I'm not stimulated. I need to be entertained. And I said in therapy today that I tend to believe, is that a sneeze I hear?
Yeah. Bless you, Monty.
You're so cute. You can lick my ankle. That's fine. It tickles. You gotta stop. This sounds more sexual than it should. No, I was talking in therapy today. I said, I think I'm like this because in older days, in a tribe, you needed someone who, if they weren't stimulated, was out and about looking around, figuring out, is there danger on the way?
Correct.
Is there stuff coming? I think I was that.
Anxiety is a survival mechanism.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anxious people heard the rustling in the leaves. They were like, lion, let's fuck off.
Tell
How about
everybody
that?
I know that
I do.
Do you consider yourself anxious?
I am, but do you know what happened? I was talking to my therapist. This was about a year ago.
Okay.
And I told her I didn't think that I had general anxiety, and she like laughed in my face.
Are you kidding me?
No.
She's like, no.
She's like, are you... She just looked at me like she couldn't believe that I thought I wasn't anxious.
Are you serious?
I thought I had situational anxiety. I didn't realize I had general anxiety.
So let's take a step back. What is the difference? I don't know.
I was perceiving my anxiety as situational, where I was like, okay, something triggers me in my environment. Let's say I think I fucked something up at work, or I'm going to be late on something. That will send me into a spiral, ruminating thoughts. All the physical symptoms somatically, I'll start getting like a stomach ache, get sweaty, pulse increasing, all that stuff.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't think that was happening for me all of the time.
Oh.
Necessarily.
I see.
But I have this kind of weird amalgamation of Soviet survivor genetics, where we kind of brush difficult things off like, no, I'm fine, I survive, I keep going. Like, I have that bullshit.
Yeah, Jess has
intertwined with like a real optimism, which is one of my favorite qualities about me. Like, I am very optimistic.
Sure.
But I think I will be in weird, strange survival mode, but be like happy about it and not recognize the impact that it's having on my nervous system.
Sure.
And then it starts to just bubble up, and then I'll crash.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can one have both? I think I have both. Generalized and situational.
And I do think it's the Jew in us.
Yeah.
I do think that's, we have ancestral trauma. It's not going anywhere. I don't like to try to hide behind those types of labels and be like, I have this, I have ancestral trauma. I don't love to lean into it because we are in this weird culture of everyone's trying to diagnose everything. Everyone's on TikTok like, you're a narcissist. Everyone's trying to find these labels. They're helpful for understanding, for sure, which is where I appreciate them. Yeah. But I'm not trying to make my identity, oh, I'm so anxious, I'm so this, I'm so that. I just want to know about it so I can work on it.
Which I think is great. I definitely have anxiety. It's so funny because there's a phrase that I use all the time, which I didn't realize was keying in that I'm anxious, but like every time, especially when Jess and I started dating, I would explain this to her. I was like, especially when we were in a city which she wasn't familiar with, or we both weren't familiar with, I would always say, head on a swivel. And I
say that all the time.
all the time. And she would be like, what? Why? And I'm like, honey, you never know what's happening around you. You have no idea.
Anyone that asks why, that's how you know they're not anxious.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, what do you mean why?
Constantly. Like I'm from New York, and she was visiting New York City for like the third time or something. And we were going there and we're walking, and I said, hey, we need to walk through Times Square, which is a fucking... Am I allowed to curse on here?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, good. It's a fucking shit show. I thought so, but I had to double check. It's a fucking shit show. And I was like, if you've ever needed your head on a swivel, it's now. I said, hey, where is your wallet? And she was like, in my bag. And I was like, is your bag fully buttoned and zipped? And she was like, it's not snapped, but it's zipped. And I was like, snap it. Is it outside your jacket or inside your jacket? She's like, outside. I was like, if we're going in Times Square, it needs to be inside your jacket. Look, I was like, these are things you need to be aware of. I was like, this is just, the world is not as nice as I think you think it is. And she was like, I don't think. I was like, it's clear by your body language that you do. So that's like what we have to do now.
Yeah.
Especially when we travel abroad.
Yeah.
I keep a crossbody because I'm hip. And I have a zip tie on the back so that you can't unclip it even if you want to.
Smart.
I'm not letting people jack me up.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, I've dealt with my wallet being stolen here. It's awful.
In LA?
Yes.
I'm never outside of my car. You'd have to get in my car to steal my wallet. I drive my car right into comedy shows. And I just do my stand-up from my driver's seat.
Well, I dared to go out to a bar one night, and that's what I get.
Was it Brennan's? I feel like it's always Brennan's.
No, it wasn't Brennan's.
Okay.
And don't you talk shit on Brennan's. That's my local watering hole.
I've never been to Brennan's.
That's okay. No, it was at the Brig.
It was at the Brig?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
You know, there was a bouncer who was once mean to me at the Brig, and I'll never forget it. I was like, hey, are you open? Because no one was in there, and the metal thing was still down on part of it. He goes, well, I'm standing here outside, and...
All right, douchey obvious pants.
Yeah.
Great.
I was like, fair enough, but the door's half closed, and you don't post hours anywhere. And he goes, we're open. I was like, gee, thanks. And I walked in. I was with a buddy of mine. He's like, are you going to let that go? I was like, never. I'm going to talk about it for years. Mm-hmm. And
I'm on my way to Salt and Straw.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to go get ice cream. I don't need this shit.
Can we touch on your obsession with Salt and Straw?
Absolutely.
Because it's so fun. Break it down for the people.
Like why I'm obsessed or how it came to be?
I mean, everything. Because I don't know the backstory. I just know where you arrived.
So, yeah, you just know me as obsessed. So for those that are listening who don't live in LA, San Francisco, Phoenix, near Disney World, Portland, Miami now,
the fact that you
New
know
York,
everywhere where they have franchise.
Yeah, it's not even franchised. It's fully owned and operated by the company. Oh. They don't franchise out.
My bad. I'm sorry.
Listen, if you're going to speak about my other love, it goes like Jess, comedy, Salt and Straw. I came to LA back in the day when there was only one. It was the first Salt and Straw that was ever open in LA. It was in Larchmont. And my favorite thing to do, especially when I'd go on dates, is I would say, I don't like, hey, let's go get a drink, or hey, do you want to get dinner, or hey, you want to get coffee? I was like, no, I'm not wasting too much time, and I don't want to do these things. I don't want to go have a drink with you. If you suck, I'm stuck there for at least 45 minutes. I would say, do you want to go get ice cream? And maybe we'll go for a walk. If I don't like that person, I could walk up and down Larchmont Boulevard in about 15 minutes, and then we are done. But if I like that person, we would get ice cream. This happened a bunch of times. We'd get ice cream, and then we would walk down, and then we'd walk down the houses in Larchmont, and do that thing that, us less rich people do, and just go, I would never get that to a $8 million house. So I would go there, and I just genuinely loved going there. And it was the first ice cream place I ever went to. I've always loved ice cream, but it was the first place I ever went to where I walked in and I was like, oh, do you do samples? They're like, do we do samples? Sample every flavor if you want. I was like, oh, I'm not going to do that. They go, no, you don't understand. There's no thing here where you need to be polite and only get 2 samples. Sample as many things as you want. If there's something that's even remotely interesting to you, tell me. I'm going to get you that sample.
Don't you think they actually get annoyed, though, when you're sampling ice cream?
I don't think so. Because it's a big part of the corporate mantra over there is give the people what they want. If they want a sample, that's what we're about.
I would have a hard time with my people pleasing to ever ask someone behind the counter of an ice cream place to sample more than 2 things tops.
But you're internalizing a guilt when they don't feel bad about it. Or you could even this is something crazy I said to Jess, because Jess said that to me. I go, ask him. She goes, what do you mean? I was like, ask him, say, is it annoying if I ask for more than a few samples? They'll say no.
I don't believe it.
I mean, if they say yes, then you got your answer.
Yeah.
But so I would do this and I fell in love with it. And I would always love, they release 5 monthly flavors, and I always get so excited to go see what is it?
You're opening the newsletter.
Yeah. Oh my God. I open their emails for sure. I follow them on Instagram and TikTok, so I look at their sneak peeks of when their new flavors are going to be. I'm obsessed.
I love when someone is this passionate about it.
I genuinely
the fact
love
that it's
this
ice cream is so wholesome.
So get this. I think I've told you this story before, so tell me if I'm boring you to death. During the pandemic, it is February of 21. Which is we're still masking, but we're kind of slowly coming out of it. My grandmother was in the hospital. We went down there, and it was very clear that she was not going to make it.
Her dying wish was for Salt and Straw?
Wish. I will tell you, when she was really coming toward the end, she wouldn't eat. And my mom was like, I don't know what to do. And I said to my grandma, she would have moments of lucidity and moments of not. During a moment of lucidity, I said, what were your favorite things you used to get in New York? What do you miss? And she goes, well, I loved pizza and I loved coffee ice cream. And I was like, great. Well, guess what you're having for dinner tonight, Grandma? pizza and coffee ice cream.
That's awesome.
And she ate them both.
Aww.
And I was like, Mom,
I'm going to cry.
Got you. Anyway, when we were leaving the hospital, because we had to catch a flight, our flight was 3 hours later, but we left the hospital because I couldn't take it anymore. And because I was getting upset. And we were like driving away, and I look at my phone, and it says Salt and Straw is having a pop-up in Miami. And my grandmother was like an hour north of Miami. And we're flying out of Miami airport. And I turned to Jess, and I was like, we're in the Uber. I go, can we go? And Jess goes, Josh, your grandmother's passing away. I'll do whatever you want to do. It's pouring rain out. We go to the Salt and Straw like pop-up that's opening. We get there. We get out of the Uber. I'm telling you, it's like pouring rain. I like take our suitcases out. It's a mess. And this woman says, "Hi, I'm Kim. Welcome to Salt and Straw." And I look at her. She's wearing a mask. I'm wearing a mask. And I go, Kim Malik, founder and CEO of Salt and Straw? Like, because I know, her and Tyler, they're cousins. They started it together. Like, I know, like, I read up on Salt Truck because I was like, I love this brand. I want to make sure I'm cool loving it, because everybody that you love, you find out is shitty in one way or another. And I'm like, I hope she's not it. But so she says that, and she looks at me and she goes, yeah. And I go up to her and I go, I am your biggest fan. And also, like, she worked in corporate America. She worked at Starbucks. And then she went out and struck out on her own. Story. Yeah. She struck out on her own. And I was like, this woman is an inspiration in 16 different ways. And so, yada, 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 we chop it up. And I tell her, I was like, I just need to tell you, especially during the pandemic, like, I would still get some Salt and Straw. And because it was the only thing that would make me happy. And I told her this, and she goes, "You're going to make me cry." And I was like, I just wanted you to know how much your brand meant to me. And we go in, we get our ice cream, we get to the front. They're like, it's covered. I was like, oh, no, we didn't pay yet. And they're like, no, Kim covered you. And I was like, ridiculous. I go outside. I'm like, you did not need to do that. And she goes, take your phone out. I'm going to give you my email. She goes, email me if you're ever in Portland.
Wow.
I was like, sure. Oh, okay. And then I find out, like, I'm going to be in Portland in 3 weeks to I'm doing a run of, I think, like, it was like 10 shows in 6 days. And so I email her. It's Tuesday night at like midnight. I turn to Jessica. It was like 3 days later. I was like, should I shoot this email off to her? And Jess goes, anyone else, I would say no. You, I'm going to say yes. I was like, why? She goes, you have a weird thing with the world. She's like, just email her. I email her. She responds the next morning at like 6 a.m. She goes, oh my God, of course I remember you. I haven't stopped talking about our interaction in Miami. Why don't you come? I'll show you all the facilities in Portland.
Wow.
And we'll have lunch and blah, blah, blah. Yada, yada, yada. I met her again. I met Tyler, the co-founder. I saw their facilities. I got to see their like tasting kitchen.
Wow.
It was fucking nuts. And after that, I was just like, I will love y'all forever. They called me and they were like, hey, will you be part of a documentary for us?
Oh my God.
So I like
Where's this documentary?
I think it's still being edited. But I did like a documentary for them. Then they also did like a panel with all of the managers from all of the stores. And they were like, hey, we're like trying to have super fans on the panel. So like, the managers can learn about what the fans really want and what they don't. And so would you mind being a part of this panel? I was like, no problem. So, I helped them out. I love them. That was such remarkable. A long story.
No, that makes me so happy. And I'm racking my brain trying to think if there's any brand that I'm that passionate about, because it's fun. Not on the level where I've met the CEO and gotten their personal contact info or anything. There's some brands that I'm weirdly stupid passionate about. I love Taco Bell. I ride hard for Taco Bell.
Well, wait a minute. I do know this. We filmed a video together once at a Taco Bell.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah. One of our old show promos.
Yeah. Do you, you say you ride hard for Taco Bell. Are you the kind of person who always gets the same order? Or you're like, I love Taco Bell so much, I try everything. I go in and out.
Both. So, and I'm actually going to go tonight because I've been a little moody girl. And I said to my roommate earlier, I'm going to treat myself to a cheap, dopaminergic Taco Bell order tonight.
What?
That it gives me dopamine because it just makes me happy.
Oh, got it. What I'm trying to think about. I'm trying to like even guess in my head what your order would be. I don't know their menu super well.
I'll tell you.
Please.
So I don't eat beef.
Okay.
What I do is I get the cheesy gordita crunch with potatoes substituted instead of beef.
Hold on. I don't eat meat. I didn't know this is a thing.
Yeah, you can sub anything.
How are
And the potatoes are terrific.
Really?
They're so good. And I love
Hold
the
on.
cheesy gordita
You're
crunch.
blowing me away right now. Okay, wait.
Good.
Okay, go on. Now I kind of want it.
Yeah.
Okay,
So that's my like must get no matter what, or if I only get one thing, I'm getting that. And then I'll experiment for the second thing. So lately they've had this chicken cantina burrito that I really enjoy. So I've been getting that when I go and I get two things.
How big
if
is
the nacho
burrito?
fries, pretty big.
Okay, so my
Not Chipotle big, maybe like a third.
So I could eat it and not be over full.
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah. It would make a good snack. So I'll get the nacho fries if they're out.
Yeah.
And then, or I'll get like a spicy potato taco. But I usually only get two things because it's a lot of food for me.
You're blowing my mind. So I don't eat meat. I'm a pescatarian. I don't eat meat, but I do eat fish, which is confusing.
It's not fuck fish. I love fish.
Yeah.
I eat fish probably every day.
It's fantastic. But I always thought that Taco Bell was off limits to me.
It's not.
Because I don't want to just have like a bean and cheese thing every time.
Even some of they used to have this 7-layer burrito. They did get rid of it, which sucks, but it was fully vegetarian and it was unbelievable. And it had like guac and beans and rice and lettuce and tomatoes.
Okay, well, that sounds great. I will say something. I think you're going to jump across the couch and murder me. But I'm going to tell you, I never had the old one. I only had the new one. Mexican pizza was trash.
Yeah, I never liked it.
Well, I don't understand.
wasn't
Everyone was
into
like, "Oh my god, it's big." I had it. I was like, "This is what you've all been waiting for."
Yeah, I don't know why people are
Terrible.
on that. But then again, neither of us have beef, but I've never had the McRib, so I don't know why people like trip hand over foot like for this McRib.
And also, it's only when pork product is like cheap that
Yeah.
the McRib comes to be.
Oh.
Yeah, you follow the price of pork, and that is like when it comes.
Are you following the price of pork, Josh?
No, me personally, no. I mean, listen, I wasn't going to tell you this. In my free time, when I'm at Mike's and you see me on my phone, I'm not taking notes about what I want to say. I'm looking
You're
at
just
pork
looking
prices.
at commodity prices.
Yeah, all the time. How's this pork doing? I want to know because I want to put money on a McRib. Interesting. So you ride for Taco Bell. Would you say you ride for Taco Bell to the point where like, if they were like, do you want to be part of the panel, that you'd be like, oh my God, yes.
1,000%.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. If I had my say in what brands would sponsor this podcast.
Oh my God, tell me right
that
now.
I could be, just completely guilt-free behind Costco.
Oh, I mean.
I don't know that they have any relationship with any podcast whatsoever, but that's another company that I ride hard for, and I've talked about it on the show before.
They kind of should.
They ought to.
Yeah. Yeah, you've heard my recent joke about how I went there for the first time. Yeah. Okay, to Costco, cool. Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'm trying to think. Monty, don't start barking. What brands do I really love that I'm like, ooh, I gotta get this?
What are some nerdy brands? Like, there's got to be some brands. So, like, okay, we were talking a little earlier off mic, and this is not a nerdy brand, but like Ordinary. That's a smaller brand.
Yeah, skincare. Oh, I have a good one with that. So there are some kind of bougie brands that I'm really into, as far as
Skin Better Science or something like that.
I'm on Perfume Talk, so I'm very into certain perfumes.
Oh, talk to me about
and
that.
I ride pretty hard for By Redo.
I don't know.
They're
it.
very expensive. They make a bunch of different perfumes, candles. I mean, the prices are outlandish, but everything is really high quality and delightful.
Yeah, you had a great diffuser. I think it was in your bathroom.
Thank you.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Also, your
Diffuser
soap had little beads in it.
That soap was
Joy.
$35.
So, have you ever heard of
It's Way.
Element Brooklyn?
No.
So Element Brooklyn does dupes of really nice soap. So we have a dupe.
I've also had that soap for 15 months, though. So
It's excellent. It still works.
it's worth it, yeah.
We have a dupe of what's that really fancy soap? Aesop. We have a dupe of the Aesop soap, and I like the dupe better, but it's so similar.
I appreciate a rich soap.
Yeah, I know. You strike me as such. Yeah.
But there's this good skincare brand that I've recently gotten into. I don't know a ton about them, but same price level tier as The Ordinary and Inklist, which is another cheap, kind of clean brand. And it's called, oh no, come on, brain, help me out. Good Molecules. It's called Good Molecules.
I don't think I've seen
They're
that.
little, well, I guess all the packaging is different. I got into them because I got this like yerba mate caffeine eye cream from them, and a tube of it was maybe $7.
Got to be a morning eye cream, yeah.
It's a morning eye cream. I'm hooked. I have to have it with me. I have to replenish it every time I run out.
I'm guessing it's similar
it feels
to like
so good on my eyes.
Right. It's probably like when you put caffeine under your eyes. Yeah, it helps remove the bags. I use, is it Ordinary? Who do I use? I use anti-puffery. It might be. Oh, no, it's Origins. Origins. Yeah. I use the Origins anti-puff under eye if I'm like exhausted or hungover.
Mm-hmm. It's good to have those. But that one I use, I have different. I have like Korean little gold, the patch things that you put on for when something's important and I really need to get it together. But just every day I use that. Did I say it was called Good Molecules or did I mislabel it? Okay, Good Molecules. So I use their eye cream. And then I recently bought a tube of their niacinamide serum.
Okay.
Which niacinamide is like some kind of miracle drug.
I don't use it.
I mean, I had this like cystic acne situation on my cheek that was not going.
I've seen that on you.
Well, I typically don't. I'm fairly lucky in the skin
you have good
department.
Skin. Yeah.
But I also do a lot to keep up with it.
We're not taking away
regimented.
From that.
Yeah.
But whatever you're doing, it works.
Thank you. But I had this breakout that just was persistent. It was for weeks. It was like deep and on a part of my cheek that normally I don't get pimples on, and nothing made it go away. And then I bought this bottle of niacinamide and I used it for like 3 days and it didn't irritate my skin and it completely resolved the cheek acne. And
That's
it's
amazing.
like $7.
I'm not really an acne guy, but I would give it a run.
Yeah.
Niacinamide's
kind of an everything ingredient.
Okay. Listen, you tell me what to use, I'll use it.
I learned everything I know from Skin Talk. Are you on TikTok?
Of course I'm on TikTok, but okay. I
What's your feed like?
It's odd.
Yeah,
I'm going to say that.
So odd right now.
I feel like yours sounds so much more useful than mine.
No, it's evolving. It's just a horny goth girl TikTok right now.
Okay.
Anyway, tell me about yours.
Sure. Mine, I guess I wish it were that. Mine is a mix of a few things. So we're always getting basketball content. That's always coming in. Big NBA fan, big Knicks fan. So like I get that stuff in there. I don't know how to explain this without sounding like a weirdo. I find nothing funnier than a young child with a really thick Yorkshire accent. I think there is nothing funnier, or a thick Scottish accent. Mm-hmm. Like I think I truly
can get behind that.
It's like to me the pinnacle of comedy, and to the point where the reason I get it so much is because people that know me will send me clips of like, especially a kid with attitude. I don't want a kid talking normally. Like there was a video that went viral, or not, I mean viral to some extent on TikTok. It was like a year ago, about two little Yorkshire girls who are coming back to their mom complaining that the ice cream truck increased its prices.
Oh, I saw this video.
Yeah. And like I had 4 people that know me sent it to me. They're like, this is way up your alley. Because just these two kids with attitude just being like, I can't believe they raised their prices. You know, it's like I do it terribly. But like it was like such a joy to see. So I would say I get a bunch of that, which really is the only reason to stay on TikTok. I get a lot of movie news. I get rabbits eating fruit.
That's cute.
It's great.
Yeah.
And they mic it up so much where just you just hear like the...
So cute.
It's a blast. I get a lot of cats doing stupid things.
I get some of those cats doing stupid things.
Also because Jess sends me them a lot. So it's like, you must love this. Mm-hmm. And then I get like the relationship things because Jess sends me those.
Yeah.
Where it's like, this is what it's like, you know, dating a guy with ADHD or whatever. I'm like, I don't have diagnosed ADHD, Jess. It's only self-diagnosed. What is your feed?
At the moment, it's horny goth girl content.
I don't get a lot of horny content on TikTok.
I get a decent amount of horny content. And it all started with the thorn wood chopping guy who I think everybody is familiar with.
Oh, yes, I'm familiar.
It started with that and then it descended into chaos because I've just been so... Let me backtrack a little bit. I've reverted back to my college ways as far as taste of music recently.
Oh. What were your college? What, emo?
Yeah, very emo, but like screamo metal, like not just Taking Back Sunday.
For
like I went hard in the paint.
Do we overlap? I was more like
I used to have several facial piercings all at the same time. Like that.
What
was my taste of music?
Okay, but did you ever have them?
Yeah.
Where?
Oh, I used to have my ears gauged out to 5/8 of an inch.
What?
I used to be able to stick high heels through them. And then I had a septum piercing and I had a nose piercing and I had 2 different lip piercings. I still have the scar.
Are you kidding me?
No. And I was in a relationship with a guy that was like the lead singer of a local metal band. And that was like my whole fucking life for years. Anywho.
Where the fuck?
I know. I don't present. I don't present.
Are there pictures from this era?
Very few.
Can you send some?
I will. I'll show you later. I have
yeah.
a few where I have like the septum piercing, and I had the blonde on top, black on bottom, like very MySpace.
Are you fucking? This is wild.
Yeah. I had a whole era, and after that breakup, I stepped away from it, and I became like clean cut and just EDM, Eastern European trash, very much.
Is that what you listen to? EDM now?
Primarily.
Okay.
But a few years ago, I started. I think it was like I was going through it. I started listening to emo music again, which devolved into starting to listen to screamo music, which like fully just I'm back on like all the metal bands I was listening to back in the day, plus all the new ones I've discovered recently. So all of that to say that my whole feed on TikTok right now is either bodybuilding videos or it's like these lead singers of these metal bands, but filmed from some horny girl's POV at the concert. And then all the comments are like, raw, next question.
Wow.
So, and then I get some,
I see like
dog
sploosh
content.
a lot. People write that all the time.
Yeah, I get top 5 dogs of the day, like the We Rate Dogs.
Oh, I would love that. I don't
week.
get that, but that sounds great.
The comments that women leave, and I can't believe it's okay for like women to leave these comments, but men can't. But I was just telling someone the other day, I saw a video of a guy, like some hot guy, and one of the comments was, "Till my throat memorizes the veins."
Jesus Christ. That is fucking wild.
People will write like in front of my parents.
That is.
It's so fun. Nobody's funnier on the internet than the people that leave TikTok comments. I swear to God. Even if I'm don't like a video, I still read the comments because sometimes there's just such nuggets of gold in there. And there's this one of the videos that I'm getting, like very obsessed with this band Sleep Token right now.
Okay.
And their whole thing is you don't even know what they look like. They wear masks on stage. But the lead singer dances around in like a shirtless getup. So you do see his abs and like he's got a bod on him.
Sure.
But so like the comments are so horny and you don't even know what his face looks like. And everyone's like, I'll die for him.
But like, what if he took his mask off and he was the most hideous man alive?
He can't be.
But what if he were?
I don't know.
You probably wouldn't care.
It wouldn't matter. He's a freaking male siren. So.
Oh my God. I
kind of get the horniness. But it's just funny and I can't scroll past it.
I'm trying to know like who in that. You know what? Okay. I'll say this. I can only relate in the sense that when I was in high school and college, I was like head over heels for Hayley Williams. Lead
How
singer
could you not
Paramore.
be? Yeah, I had like a little bit of a bi crush on her as well.
Yeah, I was literally just like, I would change my entire life for you. Like, I would be whoever you needed me to be.
Yeah.
And in my head, I was like, she probably wants a really pale New York Jew. Like, that's what she needs.
You never know.
I'm pretty sure I know. She was dating that guy from Newfound Glory, Chad, I think. But like, I was like, he doesn't look like me.
Yeah.
Like she's not. I think I had some delusions when I was like younger because I was in a band and we would tour around and I was just like, you know what, like, I could probably get girls like that. And then like reality checked in and I was like, no, you fucking can't. And I was like, true. I was the only front man whose bassist was so attractive. Women would come up to me and be like, oh my God, I loved that performance. Your voice was so good. What's your bassist's name? And I was just like, what the fuck? What do I have to do here? Like, God, how do I stand out with him? He's so good looking. It was problematic.
That's rough. That's a rough position to be in because you expect to get the glory.
I got
if you're at the lead.
No, got nothing. I was a good guitarist. I was an okay singer. And he was a great bassist and the handsomest man alive. I'm just like...
What kind of music did you guys play?
What did we go for or what was the first review saying about us? Because they're wildly different.
I mean, share what you're comfortable sharing.
My goal overall, in the longest of terms, I thought one day we could make music like Stevie Wonder, lyrically like Paul Simon.
Okay.
The first review we ever got when we started getting college radio was it said we sounded like a mix of Jason Mraz and Blues Traveler. And I was like, we failed.
Yeah, but that's not that bad as far as reviews go.
I was very sad at the time. But hey, it's fine. I think I was a better songwriter than I was a singer. I think that kind of worked against me. Yeah, now that I haven't played guitar that much, I look back and I go, oh, I was really good. Now I'm just like, I suck.
You don't ever pick it up just for funsies?
Not really. Jess has only heard me play like 3 times. And we've been together for about 6 years. and I classically trained at guitar for 15. So it is a little wild.
Yeah.
It's like your past life. It's like your septum piercings and everything. Do you ever pull them out? Probably
No.
Not. You should.
No.
I feel like you'd look good with a septum pierce. Can I say that?
Thank you.
Yeah.
It has a different connotation now.
I don't think you could do it now, given like on stage you'd be taken completely differently. In your day jobs, you'd also be interpreted wildly differently.
Well, I just think septum piercings are more. They've been taken over. It's not like cultural appropriation by any means, but it used to be like a metal kid thing.
Yeah.
And now it's like a non-binary thing.
Oh, okay. I told Jess I have never not had a thing for girls with a little nose stud. I can't. I don't know what it is. And then I was like, would you? And she goes, no. I was like, okay. I was like, but she goes, no. And I was like, got it. Okay.
I have that thing for just, and it doesn't even matter if they're like weird, shitty tattoos, but a dude covered in tattoos, there's just something about it.
I think that a very well done sleeve, like really attention to detail, really good, like a really good artist did it, I look at with a lot of envy. I'm like, that's incredible. Then I see other people and I'm like, oh, cool. A little barbed wire around your bicep there. That's nice.
Yeah, there's some that are bad. I think most of the time when people have a sleeve, it's pretty thought through. There's one guy that is so hot and simply has his arm fully blacked out.
Blacked out?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I think he hated his other tattoos and he just was like, cover them. And that was the only thing left to do.
There's a guy I used to work with. His name was Trent. Very, very nice guy. Used to play, he played a little college ball at University of Colorado. He found this tattoo artist. He spent maybe 10 months looking for the right artist. Found this artist, met multiple times with her. Like they had multiple discussions before she even picked up a needle. He had the most stunning sleeve where it kind of showed the changing of the seasons as it went down his arm.
Cool.
Like it was.
Is he hot? Is he single?
He's he just got married.
Damn it.
But he's a very attractive guy. He's like 6'4".
Ugh.
Yeah, very attractive. I mean, I don't understand how you can date tall guys. I mean, I feel like they would
What
just
do you
pick you.
mean?
They would
That's
just pick
all I
you up
want.
and put them in your pocket. I mean,
that's
like
fine with me.
You're. I feel like they would have to pick you up half the
Our
time
love
to
would
kiss
transcend the height difference.
Yeah, I was gonna say. How tall are you?
I'm 5'1".
Do you have a height thing where you're like, I don't want to date anyone under 6 foot?
No. I mean, listen, I've been quite generous in my past.
Have you dated a short king?
I've thrown it to a couple 5'7s.
Okay.
That's very generous.
I was gonna say, listen, I'm 5'10", so I appreciate a 5'7". Good for you guys.
I'm honestly 5'8" and above, golden.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some people tell me that shorter gentlemen try harder, but other people tell me that shorter gentlemen have a complex, like a Napoleonic complex.
I have encountered that too. Sometimes shorter gentlemen have better face cards.
Okay.
But not all. Like sometimes a tall dude will kind of have just like a whatever face. It's hard to find both. But then like a 5'6" guy will have a nice face.
Interesting.
If you're like, nah, you can't reach things for us.
Would you rather have a handsome short guy or a less handsome tall guy?
Depends how short.
5'6".
Less
7.
handsome tall guy.
Really?
Yeah, maybe.
Wow. Okay.
But then other things come into play. Because there's other things, let's say, if someone's like, maybe I've talked about this before. If someone's like 5'7", but let's say he has really good tattoo sleeves, makes a lot of money, and maybe has an accent or something.
Oh, accents do it for you.
You're 5'8" then, you know?
Okay.
If you're 5'7" and British, you're 5'8".
I see. Now, what if you're 5'7" with a thick Scottish? Are you 5'8"? Probably still 5'7".
Yeah. No, I don't know.
You're 5'8". Okay.
Yeah, I could get behind it.
If you're 5'7",
Can I understand it? How thick we talking?
sure.
Because there's certain shows I'll watch that are, British procedurals, and sometimes it's too thick, and you're like, even with the subtitles, I'm having a hard time.
I'll tell you, I had to do that with some characters on Ted Lasso. I was like, some of y'all,
Yeah.
not easy. It's just the speed. Maybe I'm getting older, but my like hot take, I think that sound mixing for dialogue has gotten shitty. I don't think it's my ears, because like I've done many hearing tests, because when I was in a band, like I at one point I was worried about losing my hearing, so like I really went through that process, and I've done it again recently.
Do you ever get tinnitus?
No, thank God.
Good for you.
Thank God.
I get it once in a while. It'll just clock me out of nowhere, and I'm like,
So when I was on tour, my ears started bothering me. And I got it checked, and the doctor was just like, so here's where you should be. Here's where you are. And he's like, you can stop this all now by wearing in-ear monitors. So when we would tour, I started using in-ear monitors so I would block it out because I'm in front of the drum set. Like it just bang, bang, bang right in my ears. Anyway.
Was the drummer hot? No, I'm kidding.
I thought he was good looking.
Look at me like,
no, I thought he was good. I mean, he's married now too, and he just had a kid, but I thought he was good looking.
Oh my God, everybody.
I know. We're
old.
I think if someone saw our band today, they'd be like, "Oh, what is your name? The DEI hires?" Like we were, like my bassist's mom is Venezuelan and Italian, and his dad is Cuban, and my drummer, his name was Rajiv Ravi Shankar. That's all you need to know about him. But like, and our piano player who was named Yoni was Israeli. I mean, it was just like a mixed bag of tricks in that band. But everybody was good looking. But now everyone's doing that. I haven't spoken to Yoni in a while, but like, Rajiv is he like works in finance in Denver. And Falcon lives in Finland.
Oh.
He met a Finnish girl at a backyard barbecue in Brooklyn, which is a mouthful of things to say there. And he literally like texted our group like maybe the next day and was like, I just fell in love with a girl from Finland. And I was like, how long have you known her? And he was like 24 hours. And that was his MO. And I was just like, dude, come on.
It's working.
Well, he married her and they have a beautiful child and they live in Finland. So clearly it worked.
Yeah. Can we pivot? That... And I know that the answer is nuanced and more complicated than just...
Probably isn't.
Person to person. Is that a thing? Love at first sight? Because I just had this discussion with Keith Johnson that I was talking about men getting ready and the whole taxi cab theory from Sex and the City.
What's the taxi cab theory?
Okay, so it's that when a man is just ready for marriage, his light comes on, and that basically, like, whoever he meets next, he, like, tries to make it work with her just because he's ready.
I see.
And so I'm wondering what your take is on that. Is it like, oh, you just know right away with a person, or you just get to a point where you're like, I really want this, so I'm going to manifest it with whoever I meet next?
I think both things happen. Can I give a take on the taxi cab theory for a minute?
Please.
Here's my feeling on that. So I think an element of that is true. However, I do think when you're ready, maybe your light turns on. I don't think that means you take the next person you meet. I think that means that you cut the bullshit and start asking the real questions. So I remember Jess and I mean, you don't need to hear the story for the 1,000th time. Jess and I met randomly. We were both at a bar in a city neither of us lived in. And I was sober. She was drinking a vodka Red Bull, eating an egg roll, so I won't speak for her, but I can go ahead and say no. But I had walked in the bar. I was going to tell her that she had good dance moves. I wasn't looking to pick up in Austin. I didn't live there. And when I went to tap her on her shoulder, she didn't see me. She accidentally booty dropped into my lap and goes, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so embarrassed. If I buy you a drink, can we not talk about this again? And I was like, you could buy me a drink, but I think we should talk for at least 45 minutes.
Smooth.
Yeah. We end up talking. We exchange information, and I was texting her the next morning, and she texted me back and was like, she said, "You're getting me drunk." And I wrote back, I said, "What do you mean?" And she goes, "I bet all my friends a bunch of tequila shots that you were never going to text me, and now you keep texting me." And I was like, "Well, how drunk are you going to be when I call you tomorrow?" And she was just like, "I have nervous hives." And I said, "I'm so sorry." And she goes, "No, it's a good thing." I was like, "Okay." We ended up, she didn't want to come to LA because she literally wrote, "You could be a serial killer." I didn't want to go to Houston where she lived because she could be a serial killer too. So I said, pick any city, anywhere. I'll meet you there and we'll have our first date. So she picked Portland. When we went to Portland and spent the weekend together, it was not because I felt like I was ready for something real. The conversation, yeah, it was silly and goofy because that's who I am. But like, we touched on everything. We talked about politics. We talked about religion. We talked about what we want out of our futures in terms of our jobs and our lives. We talked about what kind of thing we want out of family, how close we were to each of our own families, geographically where we both wanted to be, how we saw love fitting into our lives because both of our lives are really busy. Like we had all those conversations within 48 hours.
Yeah.
And so I think the taxi cab theory is true to an extent because I think when I was 25, I would not have covered all those bases in 48 hours. But at that point, I was 31, 32, one of those two. I don't remember which. whatever age I was, though, I was like, yo, I want to get this out of the way now. I want to make sure, like, are we a match? And so I think that element of the taxi cab theory is true, but I wasn't just like, oh, Jess seems cool and she's the next one available. It was more like, Jess seems cool. Now I'm putting her through the ringer immediately.
Yeah. Okay. I like this a lot.
Yeah. The girl before Jess, though, like, I do think that as you get more ready, you take dating more seriously. It's not the game anymore, because the girl before Jess was also... The reason I broke up with her, I swear to God, this sounds so frou-frou. I broke up with her because I didn't feel wanted. And
I mean, that's not frou-frou at all. What do you mean? If someone's not making you feel wanted, how can you get serious with them?
Well, that's the thing, because I think if I were 25, I would have been like, well, it's fine. Like, we have great physical chemistry, and like we enjoy being around each other. It's fine. But when we weren't around each other, I didn't feel wanted at all.
Yeah.
And when we broke things off, I said, I don't not like you. I said, but I realized that I deserve to feel wanted, and I don't feel wanted when I'm with you.
Good for you.
She cried. I was emotional. And, I remember she was like, maybe one day in the future. And I was like, hey, I never say never, but I don't think you're ready. Because I think that you would care about how much I felt wanted or didn't if you did want something serious. So I do think there are elements of that. I think at 25, I'm like, no, this is fun. Yeah, what's on TV? You know what I mean? When you date right now, well, let me ask you this. Do you believe in the taxi cab theory?
To an extent.
You do?
Yeah. Actually, the way that you outlined it makes the most sense, where I'm like, oh, I really haven't ever dated a guy who's been that way with me, who's like asked me all the important questions off the jump. And unfortunately, I don't really date a lot, which is not good considering clock is ticking and I want a family.
I don't like the clock ticking thing. I do find it
surprising. I don't
surprising.
like it either, but it is what it is.
Well, I mean, we spoke about this a little bit off mic, but like Jess and I addressed that head on by freezing embryos.
I'm looking down the barrel of the egg freezing journey.
It's unpleasant. I don't want to pretend that it's not unpleasant.
It's an insurance policy, though.
It's an insurance policy. It's expensive. The only reason we did it when we did it was because I was working a corporate job and they covered it, and we only had to pay $2,000 out of pocket.
Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pay like 20 G's out of pocket.
Which is such bullshit. I understand.
It is just to like buy myself however many years or something.
A lot.
Yeah.
But I do think like it. I mean, I'm not going to get into the whole healthcare system right now, but like, it's fucking wild that a woman cannot. Like, we pretty much what happens, and this is the only thing I'll say about healthcare, and then I swear I'll get off it. This is how our healthcare system works. Does a guy need something? Yeah, we should probably make that pretty widely accessible. It's fine. Does a woman need something? Okay, here's what they need to do. They need to drive 6 miles away. Now they're going to go into a cave. In that cave, they have to fight a bear. Once they fought the bear needs to die, and the bear's family will come. You need to kill all of them. After that, you need to solve a puzzle with a gun to your head. And once you've done that, then you can pay $40,000, and then you get a baby aspirin. Like, that is how women's healthcare works. Yeah. It's wild.
Well, thank you for acknowledging that.
It drives me fucking crazy.
Yeah. Obviously, you've seen Jess go through it, and
I did Jess go through, but I also, I mean, I grew up with a sister. The access to anything from like, I don't know. Sorry, I'm going on a major tangent here, but I just find it's like,
no, you're absolutely right.
Women, Jess had to get a procedure done, somewhat routine procedure done, where they were like, hey, this is gonna hurt a little bit, but like we need to like take some tests, blah blah. They didn't offer her any pain meds. They didn't offer her anything. Just went in and futzed around.
Yeah, they just expect us to buckle down and take it.
Yeah, and she was in agony. And I'm sitting there, and I was like, how is this okay? How is it that if a guy so much as sneezed, they'd be like, do you need some codeine? Mm-hmm. And like, she's in there, like, going through a procedure. Hi. Sorry, are you excited about it, too? You're excited about this.
He also hates the healthcare system.
I just think
he's Team Luigi all the way.
Listen, I have no comment on that. I heard you and Jay talking about it. I was like, I will not say anything about that. I don't want to get arrested.
Until my throat remembers the veins.
Oh, God. I wouldn't be shocked if people posted it on him. I swear to you.
Sure do.
He's got like a fan base.
Yeah, he's a handsome boy.
But back to the egg freezing thing. I remember there's a girl I knew who I worked with named Stacy, and she worked in New York, and I was working out of LA, and I went to the New York office, and I said, how are you? She goes, I just froze my eggs. And I was like, oh, that's great. I meant generally, but hey, if that's what you want to share, that's great. And she said to me, freezing your eggs is so stigmatized that I lead with it now to make sure that anyone who's talking to me, and if there are women around, they hear me say
What a
it.
queen. I love that.
She's great.
That's great incentive. I'm that way just because I think I overshare. Podcast
Excellent.
named after myself.
It's not a podcast. It's a podcastina.
Thank you.
It's great. I love the name.
Yeah. I want to be open about stuff like that because I think another thing that a lot of women don't talk about publicly a lot, but that needs to get addressed more is like miscarriages and how common that is and how devastating it is and how the world just expects you to shut up about it and just go on when it's like, oh, you just, your kid just died in you. We're not going to treat that like a proper grieving situation.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Here's what's crazy. People think it's so uncommon because people don't feel the freedom to talk about it.
Correct.
And that's the shittiest part. Is people go, well, and then I don't want to speak for some women, but I imagine that some women then internalize it and go, well, no one else is talking about it, so I shouldn't talk
I'm sure
about it.
that's happening.
And it's like
they're going to support groups in the dark,
which is fucking wild.
Yeah.
And it's also crazy to me the fact that like in FMLA leave, maybe there are some policies that have this, so I don't want to speak for all the policies. I don't know how common it is where it's like, oh, if you've had a miscarriage, you can have however many weeks. I don't know what the answer to that is, but like you can have time off to grieve it. I had a boss my first year at Google who had 4 miscarriages in a row. Ugh. And she was open about it. I was 25, so I maybe didn't know the right questions to ask, but all I knew was her name was Jennifer. She was a great person who was clearly hurting. And like, she was hurting in a world that wasn't catered to take care of people who were going through that. It was wild.
It's still not catered to take care of people that are going through that. And anytime I hear someone speaking to it, I'm like, please speak on it. Because the amount of people that I know that have gone through it and are so hush hush about it. And it's such like a scary thing to endure, and what that could make you have feelings about your own body and what it's doing, and like feel separated out of. I just can't. It's just this horrible thing that again doesn't get enough light.
Yeah, and I feel like men sit there and they go, "Well, that sucks." It's like, hey, imagine your own body betraying you. Yeah. And then come back and maybe say more. Then that sucks. Yeah. It's not the best. I'm terrified of it. I'm terrified when a friend of mine's going to go through it. If Jess and I experience it, I mean, you know me, I'll talk about everything, so I probably won't let that one go away. Do you know Macy Isaacs?
I do.
I don't want to do her jokes, but did you hear her most recent set on stage?
Not if it's pertaining to this.
It's about her experiencing miscarriages. Yeah. And never did I think something would be so funny in my life.
Good on her that she's doing that and bringing light to it and talking about it. Like, I respect that so much.
Yeah, I'll only say one line because it's just too funny where she goes, I think she says I experienced 3 miscarriages, and like the room gets silent, and she goes, oh, you don't have to be that upset. I didn't know him for very long. I was just like, oh, that's great. That's great. It was just amazing. But yeah. I don't know how we got to this, but yeah, I do think about that stuff all the time.
Because women's healthcare, because it's a thing that's under it that again doesn't get treated with the type of like, it should be all hands on deck. Therapy, drugs if you need them, everything, time off, research. Yeah.
No one is this is all conjecture. So if anyone's in the comments, feel free to be like, Josh, you're an idiot and wrong. And like, honestly, whatever you say is not more hurtful than things I say to myself. But I would imagine that less money is put into research about women's health than generalized, medical research.
Yeah.
But I do think, I'm curious, not to get back to you, and we don't have to get too personal if you don't want to. You don't date a lot, which is surprising to me. I say this, I'm not blowing smoke in your direction, but you're a catch. So it's surprising that you don't. I know you're making that choice. When you do get into a dating situation, are you able to almost like third eye view what you're doing to be like, I'm making a healthy choice by going on a date with this person versus I'm satisfying a lust craving here?
1,000%.
Okay.
Part of the issue is that I'm so picky and really don't like anyone.
I do remember that too.
And I'm not trying to say that the people that I have picked are, prize ponies or anything. They're certainly not.
Sure. Listen, we've all had duds and winners in our history.
I think I've tried to fine tune it a little more recently, where I've kind of had epiphanies about what qualities I've been dodging in people versus what I've been drawn to, and how that hasn't been helpful for me in finding a relationship. And it was about 6 months ago that I kind of had this revelation of, I'm constantly dating addicts and people that need to be picked up so I can kind of stack rank myself against them and be like, oh well, you're not achieving this, and that. So how could I, when this inevitably blows up in my face and doesn't work out, I can be like, well, I didn't want to date you anyway because you don't have your shit together. And so instead of dating people that have their shit together, the other thing that I was like, oh, I'm so scared to date someone who's like me, because if I date someone accomplished and ambitious like me, what if he has the same criticisms of me that I have of myself? I'm already so critical of myself. So that is like not a founded fear that I need to just let go of, that I think is really more of probably just me dodging getting into something serious, it not working out, and me being very hurt. It's just hard for me to get over things that way. So it's like almost easier not to date, but that's not conducive to starting a family.
I wonder, there's a really fine line between dating someone who's also accomplished, who you fear may have the same criticism of you that you have of yourself.
Which is that I'm lazy, which is like the falsest fucking thing
I would never describe you that way. But think about it like this. What if you dated someone who understood the criticisms that you had of yourself and was able to talk to you about why it's okay for you to have those criticisms, but he doesn't believe in those same criticisms of you?
That would be the thing.
There's such a fine line, though, because you need to date someone who can understand the criticisms in order to tell you they don't agree. If you date someone who is not accomplished, so they can't even understand them, you're never going to find someone who can disagree with you. And that's tough. I do think it's hard. I think the older we get, I mean, listen, you're a spring chick, but like, I think the older we get, it's harder to find the right match. I think like you're in a huge pond as a small fish when you're 21. Mm-hmm. People start narrowing in. I have a friend, you'd actually really love her, who lives in New York. She said the most outlandish thing. She's single. And let me tell you, got a job, cute, really in shape. She said to me over breakfast, it was like me, her, Jess, I think one other person. I said, do you have like check boxes, things they need to hit? She goes, yeah, I mean, I need a guy who like makes $400,000 a year.
It's a little crazy.
Yeah.
But I guess to live comfortably in New York.
But then continues. And I was like, hey. No. I was like, listen, I know people that make $400,000 a year. They're not going to date someone who has a mandate about someone making $400,000 a year. No. And she goes, well, I just don't think I can live the kind of lifestyle I want to lead. And I was like, okay, then you get a job that makes $400,000 a year and stop relying on that. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, you're out of your noggin. Mm-hmm. So that's my only thing. My cousin.
I don't have those types of stipulations. I
that.
definitely have. I mean, picky as in me having like physical chemistry with someone is probably the most picky area of my pickiness.
Okay.
But other than that, I just want like a golden retriever gym bro, like a well-intentioned.
Do you though? I think you'd get tired of that in 6 months. You don't?
I think I would like to want that. That's what I want to want. I think I don't want someone in the entertainment industry because of what all that entails. I understand it too much and it's just like too exhausting and unstable. But I think I do want just like I always call my type a reformed frat boy.
Oh, Jesus. I mean, as someone who was in a fraternity, I hear you. I think, I don't want to tell you what you need and what you don't need, but I certainly don't think that a gym bro is who you need.
Interesting. Why?
I mean, gym bros have good discipline, so that's for sure.
I feel like they're reliable because it's like reliable. Like taking care of your body is a signal of reliability.
It is, and a lot of gym bros put themselves as number one.
Sure, yeah.
So
true. That's true.
I'd much rather have someone who. I think I told you this. Like, I read something on Reddit once that said, I don't know if like your audience is gonna be like, this is such a deep conversation. I read something on Reddit, I think I told you this once, where instead of like, I don't believe in all the love languages, all this other stuff, like blah, 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 it's all fun to talk about. I don't believe in any of it. But someone on Reddit said that the most simplified way that they view everything is people fall into 4 categories. A mind mate, as someone who intellectually stimulates you. A soulmate, someone you have that Romeo and Juliet action with. A a playmate, someone who you're very silly and goofy with all the time, and a helpmate, someone who helps you achieve your goals.
Ooh,
right?
I like this categorization.
So I was 110% confident that I knew. Obviously, we all want all four, but I knew which two I needed above all else. I was certain it was mindmate and helpmate. I need someone who is intellectually stimulating me at all times, and I need someone who is going to help me achieve my goals. I was 100% certain.
I would want a playmate.
So I start dating Jess, and I will never forget this. It was maybe a month or two into the relationship, and I texted all of my friends, and I said, I didn't know relationships could be this fun.
Aww.
Ever. I was like, Jess, I stand by that to this day. Even though we've shifted from what, there's an interesting book called Modern Love that was co-written by Aziz Ansari, and they talk about the shift from passionate love to companionate love. And even when you make that shift, which a lot of people think is a sign to break up, but really it's just shifting into finding a companion.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I just learned this and I have to regurgitate it.
Please.
Lust is metabolically expensive. That's why you fall out of it after about 9 to 12 months.
I did not know that.
You're welcome.
Makes sense.
Anyway, continue.
I lust for ice cream now. But anyway, I think like even now, Jess and I have been together for almost 6 years now, right around there. And I still find her the most entertaining, wildly silly, nonsensical, fun individual I have ever met in my entire life. And she actually is also a helpmate for me. She has confidence in me when I don't have confidence in myself.
That's so important.
So like I thought I knew what I wanted, but then I got something I would have been like, I don't need a playmate. And it turns out it completely turned my life on its head in every way I could never have imagined it would. So that's all I would say to you is like, I'm sure you have strong ideas of what you want. Be open to the idea that maybe what you think you want isn't what you need.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good perspective.
Look at me. Should I be a psychologist?
I mean.
No, I can't. I wouldn't be intellectually stimulated and then I'd fall asleep.
Be like, your problems are so dumb.
The thing is, I want to talk about all this kind of stuff on stage, but there's really, it's tough to make a lot of this funny.
It is, and I don't try to be funny on this show, and this show gives me that outlet to have these conversations. So that's what I appreciate about it, too, because it's like, yeah, I want to talk about it, and I want to get really into the nitty-gritty, into the weeds of it. So
I know, but it's like on stage, right? So like, when I'll use that Costco joke as an example, right? It's funny. It says nothing. Literally nothing. There's no statement I am making in my Costco joke at all.
Yeah, jokes shouldn't have statements.
Yeah, but I guess
I don't buy into the whole, we need to say something life-changing.
I don't think we need to say something, but I do think sometimes I want to say something.
I get that, but comedians should get off their fucking dicks.
I agree. I totally agree. I think like I used to tell a joke about how men are so worried about being masculine when they don't realize that the best things ever are all considered feminine. Like I had never gotten a pedicure before, and then it turned out to be like the awesomest thing ever. And I was like, why didn't I do this? And I remember I was telling that joke, and I'll tell you this, women loved that joke and men did not like that joke. And I was like, this is so interesting. You can't even break it.
Internalized homophobia?
Yeah, you can't even break past it.
Yeah.
I mean, the number of fucking comments and clips that I've posted were being like people just write closeted. I was like, listen, if I were gay, I'd be fucking screaming it. I'm not. I don't keep a single thing to myself. Thank you. I've never kept a thing to myself in my life. It's a wonder that I don't just give out my credit card numbers to people. It's just like I was like, if I were gay, you think I could hide that? I don't know. I just think yes. I think there's a lot of internalized homophobia all over the place. I love hugging people, and there are some male comics that cannot do it. Ones that I'm like friends with.
Yeah. Huh.
Just don't hug.
Well, I guess all the male comics want to hug me.
Yeah. Excuse you.
Like I've never encountered this problem.
I won't name a name. I'll tell you off mic. But there's one comic who I'm very friendly with who just like cannot give a proper hug.
Aw.
He just has like immense difficulty.
Yeah. Now
I'm the kind of person when I hug, I want to be squeezed a little bit. I want somebody to be like, hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
Like I'm a person. You're a person. I squeezed you. Jess's family, they don't like the squeeze. Yeah. They want this.
A little pat.
Yeah. Sorry for those listening and not watching. It's not the pat. They'll do the full arm, but they'll do it for like, I've made contact and I'm done. I'm complete. Surfaces have touched and we're done.
Yeah.
I want someone to squeeze me and be like, hey, I care about you.
I know there is something so soothing when you're like going through it.
Yeah.
Even when you're not going through it, just to reassure you, see someone you know, and it's like, I love a fucking hug.
Yeah, give me that acupressure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I also never viewed it as a weird thing to hug a guy.
Mm-hmm. It's not.
Yeah, but some guys don't want the vibes. They want to dap it up. And
they make it so much worse when they act like all high and mighty about it.
Ugh, I know. You know who gives a great hug? This is name dropping. He's not like famous, but just name dropping another comic. Chip Nicholson gives a phenomenal hug.
Interesting.
Are you friends with him?
I am. I don't know his hug well. But.
Oh, I'll just never forget it because when he hugs you, he comes in, gives you a big squeeze.
Yeah.
Makes you feel wanted.
Oh, that's great.
It's so nice.
That's the best.
I wish that all comics, I could just put on a notice. Hey, comics, if we're friends, bring it in.
Please hug me.
Give a good one.
Yeah.
Give a good one.
That's so funny.
Do you hug a lot?
Yeah, when it's my homies.
Okay.
When it's, because this does happen a lot, when it's some man that I don't know well that we're kind of, we're acquainted in the comedy world, but I don't know him, and those guys go in for hugs, and I'm like, dabs. Oh. Let's do dabs. Because that has happened. There's been dudes there was one guy that used to send me creepy messages all the time, and he would run into me, and he would like pick me up and spin me.
No.
So I'm very pick upable.
Without saying the name, that's 100% true. Without saying the name, do I know this person?
1,000%. Oh. You at least know of him. He's bigger, so he shouldn't have been doing this. I'm surprised. He's not big enough to get canceled, but he's big enough that he shouldn't have been doing that. Or sending me creepy DMs.
Oh, I don't think I've ever sent I'd have to think.
You don't strike me as sending a creepy DM.
No, I also don't like sending.
I've sent more creepy DMs than you've sent. I promise.
Do you send?
I shoot my shot.
Do you?
Oh yeah.
But do you do like a cutesy, like if he says no, I could pass this off as me not shooting a shot?
Nope.
Oh, you really go in there.
I go. It depends. Like, do I really care? If I really care, I'll try to pass it off. Like, oh, let me share this meme because I thought of you. But there's like, I saw this guy on Raya the other day who was like a hot ass pro tennis player, and I DM'd him on Instagram like, you're fine as fuck.
Okay.
So it depends. If it's like, I don't give a shit if you never contact me again, but I know of people that have met their significant others that way, so I'm like, let me shoot my shot. But my Instagram is not like a sexual.
No, God, no.
No, it's it's me dressed as a Cybertruck and my comedy clips and podcast clips. It's not attractive.
You posted a very funny clip. I think it might have been TikTok. I don't remember where I saw it about Cybertrucks recently. Just having worked at a Ferrari dealership, and I was like, true. No, I this is a crazy one. So I'll answer this first so you feel comfortable answering. I've never sent a nude before. I've never sent a dick pic.
Neither have I.
Yeah,
and I've never even received a dick pic, and that is not an invite.
Yeah. Don't send them to her. I've never sent one. I used to talk about this a little bit on stage. Number one, obviously, I wouldn't send one unsolicited. But if someone were soliciting it, which has happened, the reason I don't send it is solely because I don't have enough faith in my lighting and framing abilities. I think it's going to be a picture everyone looks at and goes, this is an excellent penis. Like, I just don't. And to me, I think I would be underselling what I'm offering, and it's disappointing.
That's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah, I feel like it's a restaurant where like the food's really good, but then they have like pictures on the menu and the food looks awful. Mm-hmm. And people are like, oh, I'm not going to eat there. It looks terrible. And you're like, no, you have to trust me. Like, it's actually really great. I've been there before. And so like, I don't know. Like, that hot dog does not look good. And you're like, no, it's a great hot dog.
It's kosher.
Yeah. It's got the right amount of girth and length. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's I just don't send them. I don't think anyone's ever sent a dick pic that's been so wildly amazing that someone's been like, I was going to say no.
Yeah.
I saw your penis and I thought.
The only time I got a dick pic, and this I feel so old even sharing this story, but me and my college roommate, she didn't have a phone that could receive picture texts yet. So a guy that she was seeing, because I had a more advanced phone than her, sent me a dick pic for her. And that's the only dick pic I've ever gotten.
Did he understand that this was going through an intermediary?
Yeah, correct. He did.
So he didn't mind.
Yeah.
Wow. Was he packing? He must have been.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But again, with the wrong framing, you wouldn't know. Mm-hmm. You have to put...
It was like a full mirror nude.
I was going to say, I think that you would have to hold up a quarter in any picture so someone could see the size difference or something standardized in size.
Yeah. It would be funny to use like a Pez dispenser or just like something silly.
Popsicle stick,
I would appreciate the humor. If someone sent me a funny dick pic, I might be into that.
That could be funny.
Yeah.
Because
penises are hilarious. They're not hot.
Dicks are inherently silly.
Yeah.
It's a silly penis. I don't, whatever greater power you subscribe to, I don't think whatever brought us all into being was literally just like, let's make those Jennies supreme.
Right.
By the way, I call genitals Jennies. Let's make those Jennies supreme.
That's how much you hate Jenny's ice cream.
Yeah, I don't hate them. It's just like they're. Do you understand baseball a little bit?
We'll see. We'll find out.
They're a contact hitter, so they'll always get on base.
I don't know what that is.
They'll always get on base.
Okay.
They'll always hit a single, maybe a double. They're gonna get on base. Their flavors are always gonna get on base. They're not a power hitter. There are no home runs in there. Salt and Shred's a power hitter. Some of their flavors, they're gonna whiff. They're gonna try and swing at the fences. They're gonna strike the hell out. But when they hit, they can knock it out of the park. And I'd rather have someone who has some grand slams and some duds than just a constant contact hitter who's on first and second base.
You're right. Have you had handles?
I've never disliked an institution more in my life.
What?
Than Handles.
Really? That's my favorite ice cream.
I went up to Handles and I go, you talking about the one on Ocean Park? Is that the one you
well,
go
there's
to?
a few. I haven't been to the Ocean Park one, but I've been to, there's a couple down in South Bay that I've been to.
Yeah.
And I used to go to them in college growing up because it's an Ohio brand.
It is.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I went up. I didn't know the brand. And I said, oh, gosh, you have so many interesting flavors. Can I try a sample of blank? They go, we don't do samples.
They don't?
No.
Oh, I didn't know that. I guess because I always get the same flavor when I'm there.
At least the one at Ocean Park doesn't. And I go, I'm sorry. I just mean like just like a sample. And they were like, we don't do samples at all.
Oh, that's heinous. I respect you being mad at it for that. I didn't know that. I'm fairly certain I've had samples at other Handles locations.
The one at Ocean Park doesn't do it. And then Jess was like, you know what? We're already here. Let's get a flight of 4 flavors. That's our own little sampling, and we'll split it. And I said, no problem. And each one sucked more than the last.
Oh,
and I was just like, if I'd been able to sample, I could have avoided this shit. Fuck you guys. I'm never coming back. I haven't been back since. But I do like Ohio,
sorry, you had a bad
so
experience.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. They have a flavor, and sometimes they don't have it. It might be seasonal, and it's called Spouse Like a House. And it's my favorite ice cream in the entire world.
Slow down there.
Yeah. Spouse like a house.
I think that's how Jess would describe me these days. Been eating a lot.
Yeah.
What's in it?
It's vanilla ice cream with chocolate covered peanut butter filled pretzels. So it's just like a smorgasbord of salt and sweet and like deliciousness.
I was at Smorgasbord yesterday in downtown.
Good.
I would eat the shit out of that. That sounds phenomenal.
Yeah. If you go there ever again, if you decide to give it a second chance and they have Spouse Like a House, get that. There's no way you can not like it.
If you text me at some point and go, I was at Handles and Spouse Like a House is there. Mm-hmm. It's in season. I will go.
Okay, deal.
Because I trust you. I care about you. I will go. That is the only thing that'll get me to go back there.
That's fair.
I have so much. I also learned recently that I think it's Wanderlust Creamery is like the owner is a diehard Trump supporter. And I was like, well, I can never go there now. You know.
Maybe I've had Wanderlust.
I think it's on Lincoln.
Yeah.
But I was just like, yeah, I'm not supporting that. So I'm out. It's tough.
Listen, we got to be mindful with our dollars.
Do you shop at Target anymore?
No, I haven't. I'm all Costco,
Monty's
baby.
also Target out.
Yeah, he's also targeted out.
I love Costco, but again, it's like if you just want like 3 mangoes, you can't get it.
It doesn't matter. Just get the 15 mangoes, Josh.
No one's going to go through it. It's just so wild. Do you think...
Well, you don't go to Costco for everything when you're just in a single or 2-person household, but you do go there for some things. Like, I only just ran out of paper towels that I bought like in 2004, you know? Like, I just...
Yeah, you're like,
it's
back in the
worth it.
day, way back, when George Bush was president, I bought these paper towels. This is a very weird question, and I wonder if any of us are self-aware enough to answer this. When you're out about, for example, at a Costco, do you feel like your body language and general attitude is open to meeting someone?
Yeah.
Okay. Even at a Costco?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't.
I think a man having a Costco membership is a green flag.
It's a huge green flag. It's a bright green flag.
Yeah.
But I just mean, like, I wonder with someone like you, and I say this as a compliment, and I hope it's taken that way. You are so efficient, and you are very busy, and you, I would say, perform. And when I say perform, I don't mean like comedy wise. I mean perform as a human being at a very high level.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know that. I wonder how much you're head down, like, this is what I need to get while I'm here. This is what I need to do. Get all the things, go check out, and I'm done. I don't know how easy it would be for a guy to come up to you and be like, God damn, like, that girl, she doesn't have time for me.
Well, to bring it full circle,
please.
When I'm in there, when I'm anywhere, especially somewhere that brings me joy, like Costco, head on a swivel. So when I see a hot guy, I will make eye contact.
Do you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you do the linger?
A little bit.
I love the linger, but I start to sweat when I do the linger.
Yeah, I do get panicky, and sometimes if a guy's really hot and then I look at him, I'm like, oh my God, he saw me looking at him. I can never look at him again. Even if I like need to look that way, I'm like, nope, can't.
I used to train myself. I had to do it. Where like I would like see someone I thought was cute, and I would we'd make eye contact, and I would train myself to not break it.
Oh.
And I would just be like looking at them, and maybe I would do like an eyebrow raise or something like that. Mm-hmm. But like I would train myself not to break it. It's so because my palms start to sweat. Like I hate it.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, like the number of dates that manifested from that was huge.
No, that's smart. I need to get out in the world and just do more of.
I just need eye contact.
Go to Costco more. Honestly.
I think you could meet your future Mr. Rivina. I assume he'll take your name. Do you have a thing about? Would you ever ask someone to take your last name?
No.
No?
No, I don't care about names at all.
So you don't even want
to
keep yours?
I would have to keep my name professionally, obviously. That nothing can change.
Rhymes. It's amazing.
Right. Yeah, but for legality and especially with having a family, I would want to have the same last name as my kids.
Oh, that's interesting. What's the legality piece?
Of just having the same last name as my family unit.
Yeah, I mean, Jess does not have my last name. She goes, "Do you care?" I was like, "Why would I care? It's your name." I was like, just don't make me change my name because I'm the last in my family line.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm the last Lanzet.
Oh.
Yeah, there's no other male Lanzet, at least in my family line, that I'm aware of. Mm-hmm. Like my dad had 2 sisters. One had no kids. The other one had 3 girls. And I have a sister. So
but do you value that? Like, do you care?
I do, weirdly. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of. I think there's a lot of there's a lot of complicated feelings I have to different parts of like my lineage, people that I don't necessarily love that like, you know, that are in my lineage. However, the last name for whatever reason means something to me. And I have no doubt that like my kids, however they end up to be, are going to be wildly more successful than me at whatever they want to do. So like it would be really cool to see the Lanzet name doing great things on behalf of these 2 little individuals. I say 2 because I will not have more than that.
I respect that.
Yeah, Jess was like, would you ever want 3? And I was like, not only would I not want 3, I'd get the snip after 2. Everyone's doing that now, by the way. Like I'm half my friends. Snip.
It's the easiest thing to do.
I sign me up.
Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah, someone's like, you know, someone asked me, they're like, well, once you're done having kids, does the woman get her tubes tied or do you get the snip? I was like, she could do whatever she wants. I'm getting the snip. I don't care what she chooses. She can do anything. It's her body. She can make whatever choice. This body is done. Wrap it up. You know?
That's a good plan.
I like that
a lot. Yeah.
I was supposed to get lunch with my buddy the other day.
Instead you got a vasectomy?
He got one instead.
Oh.
I know you're kidding, but that's exactly what happened. I was like, can you hang out? He goes, I can't, man. I'm on ice for the next week. I was like, did you? He goes, I did. I was like, okay.
Anyway, I could talk to you about balls all day, but we got to land this plane. Josh Lanzet, right. What are you up to? Tell people what you have going on.
Oh, my gosh. You know, I do stand up here, there, and everywhere. I pretty much go wherever you go. So anytime you see Galina doing stand-up, I'm probably there. I know you can find me at Josh Lanzet on all my stuff, and you can find me at joshlanzet.com, a website I swear to God I'm going to update soon. Yeah, I mean, like, that's kind of about it. That's all I do.
Oh, amazing. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and thank you, everybody, for listening. Bye.